Hello friends, this video is about blended learning and online learning tips and hacks. What are hacks? Well, hacks are really just tips and tricks. So here we go. Some bonus tips we'll get at the end of this video. We'll be at the very end. I will try to show you two teams at the same time and show you them side by side. That may crash my computer, so I'm going to do that at the very end of this video. And with that, I'll talk a little bit about how to get your audio working well when you're using Teams to do an online meeting. All right, so on we go. First of all, the big picture of blended learning and online learning is starting off with your mindset. Now, I love to have a positive attitude myself, but I'm going to also look at some of the questions. All right, so let's take a look at the questions that got me started thinking about blended learning and online learning tips and hacks. Okay, here we go. Key questions. What worked for you? What worked for your students in blended learning, which is another way of saying mainly online learning with a little bit of instructional time in the classroom. Okay, what were the challenges? There were a few challenges. However, look at them as opportunities to overcome the challenges. I like to have that positive mindset. Every challenge is an opportunity to overcome that challenge. And what are the tips and tricks that you can share? And that's what I'm going to focus on in this video. I think that's going to be the most meaningful use of time in this video, the tips and tricks that I can share. Okay, so the tips and hacks for blended and online learning. Passion. Live the adventure. Be a lifelong learner, aka growth mindset. So, academics will talk about having a growth mindset and the benefits of growth mindset. But how do I visualize that? I visualize that like I am Frodo. I'm going on an adventure in the Fellowship of the Rings. There's a challenge. I'm going to overcome it. It's going to be an adventure. There's going to be good times. There's going to be bad times. But I'm looking at how to grow through this adventure. Okay, give yourself time to learn something new. Yes, learning takes time, so you're going to have to find time in your life to learn. I love learning, but it takes time, and there's different categories of things to learn. You want to be thinking about some time, you want to spend time learning tools, and sometime you're going to learn about pedagogy and educational strategies. Find a new teaching strategy. Don't just use the same old strategies, but explore new, experiment, be an experimenter, be an inquirer, be curious. The possibilities and the advantages of something new. Learn the power of your platform and all the features of your platform. And again, that's going to take time. Allow yourself time to do that, but try to learn something new about your platform, whichever platform you're using, whether you're using Microsoft Teams or an alternate platform. One way I love to learn is I like to go to YouTube and ask a question to YouTube. And if you don't ask the right question the first time, try asking a different question into YouTube. And YouTube can be your self-directed teacher to help you when you need help immediately. All right, I did learn how to tile a bathroom that way by asking YouTube how to tile a bathroom. Okay, now let's get into some practical tips. Okay, some practical tips about Microsoft Teams is first learn the basics of there's a purple ribbon on the side, and you want to make sure you know all the different spots of the purple ribbon. Then you select the team. Now here I've selected a team I've created called Class Empty for Learning, and I find this very helpful for protecting student privacy to have a learning place that is just a class empty for learning. All right, so here I've added some channels to show you some features about channels. There's a general channel. Notice there's a hidden group, a hidden channel here, and I can go here and I can edit the team and do information here. Let's scroll that up so I can see that a little bit better. And I'm going to go. Okay, it's time for an interruption there. So yes, this video here did crash my system. So what was happening? Why did it crash? It crashed because both applications wanted my camera and my microphone. So Teams and the other application that I'm using called OBS crashed my computer system. Now you might be wondering, what's OBS? Well, you could Google it. This is what it looks like right there. That's my OBS system that I'm using to capture my screen and myself at the same time. Now, I'm going to try and make this video both shorter and have more stuff than the original. Now, if you take a look over here on the screen, you can see solutions from crash and burn, tips and tricks. So I had a video that failed. It crashed, it burned, it did not work, the sound didn't work, the camera didn't work. There were problems that went. We get knocked down, we get back up again. We get knocked down, we get back up again. Technology is like that. It's an opportunity to learn and to get past the challenges of the failures of technology. Okay, so in order to get past the technology, what is a big thing I want to show you at the end? The big thing I want to show you at the end is something in Teams about how to get the sound working when you want to share your system sound with the Teams meeting. And whenever I try and show that, it seems to crash my recording. So I'm going to try, I think I have a solution to show you this problem. This time it's going to work. The other thing I've also added to this version, this new edit, is I've added a section at the end about student engagement after popular requests. Student engagement. So there's a few more slides about student engagement in this version. All right, here we go. So you can see what you're actually watching is a video of me talking. And now you're watching a video of me talking about a video of me talking. All right. So there is power. There's power in technology. There's problems. There's power. And how do you turn that power into pedagogy, into strategies? You have to think about all the options, all the possibilities of the power of the tools, and then imagine and be curious about how that can turn into a pedagogy. All right, let's keep moving on. In this original video, I talked way too long about hiding channels and unhiding channels, and I realized that's not the most important critical thing in hindsight. And so I can see, watching my own video, that there's something that where all this lags here, it's kind of slow in the middle. Now, here we're gonna go, we're just gonna fast forward this section while I'm talking about Teams channels here. Now what do we get here? Let's take a look. Oh, it's being a little bit tricky right now. Okay, now I'm gonna drag this a little bit wider to try and see if I can find, oh, it's bad, I fucked up, there it is. Okay, group retalk, what can I do with these 3 buttons? Now I can hide it. What? Okay, so I'm talking too long about this hiding channels, so we're gonna move past hiding channels, move past hiding channels. Okay, here comes up tour of 365. You want to be to make sure you're in the right spot. Click over here and you'll find post, files, class notebook, assignments, one more. What's the one more I got here? Grades. But you can also add things like insights, which I found very interesting. Okay, what else here? You can add stuff here, all kinds of things. I've also added in some of my classes video resources. That's one option if you are using that particular team a lot for storing video resources. You can see that I've uploaded stuff here to this imaginary classroom. Now I've got some imaginary assignments here that I want to show you. One of my favorite features that is a great one to learn. I titled this project here Example Mega Inquiry Project because I included a lot of rubrics here. Now I'm going to go here to show student view. And so far it has not crashed on me, which is wonderful. You can attach something here, but what I wanted to show you this feature here called Rubrics. So here I click here, and you can see that there are embedded rubrics that a wonderful colleague of mine spent a lot of time working on to get this so easy to upload. And then once they're uploaded, you can select, delete, and then when you're marking, you simply click on the ones that you are marking, as in they've reached level 4 in the rubric. Very helpful feature for speed and efficiency once you take the time to learn how to use embedded rubrics in Teams in the assignments section. A very helpful tip, a very helpful hack. So let's say if I wanted to do that again, you're like, oh, but how do I do that? I'm gonna go really fast on this. We'll go back. We'll go to create. We'll go assignment. And now we're gonna go whatever for the title. Here's where you add your Microsoft Word document or PowerPoint, whatever the assignment instructions are, right there. But here's where you would add rubric, and I would click there. Then you're gonna go here and you're gonna go upload rubric from where you put it. Then you're gonna go choose files. After you've done that, you are going to look for where you saved your files. For me, I've saved them under main organization 2020, and no, I have not saved them there. Then where did I save them? MYP main is maybe where I saved them, and rubrics for Teams, there it is. I go there, Open. Now, not done yet. You have to click a few buttons in this process, which does slow down here. Okay, so now we got here. Now say if you're just focusing on a particular strand. Say it's just, you're doing like, say, a works cited. So I don't need this one. I don't want this one. I'm deleting them. I'm hitting the garbage can button. I don't need this one. I don't need this one. I don't want this one. I don't want this one. I don't want this one. And then I see like, okay, there it is. C3 is a strand I'm focusing on in the rubric, document sources of information using a recognized convention. That's what I'm going to focus on. And then I'm going to actually delete the other strands for this particular assignment. And now I am down to one particular strand, a one-line rubric of how I'm focusing on that. Or you could have 2 or 3. There you go. Then I would hit attach, and I've created that assignment. Now I could say, I'm going to assign it to this imaginary class, just so you can see there. Boom, bada bing, bada bang. How long did that take? We are at 9 minutes into this video. Okay, I'm trying to keep this video fast and short. All right, what is the next tip and hack we're going to take a look at? The next tip and hack is probably class notebook. That's such a big topic that you should probably watch a whole video about that if you're interested in exploring a class notebook. The other thing is post. You can use post for all kinds of things. You can see that this pops up right here. But say if you're like, oh, I want the students to see a particular video, I'm going to go grab the link for that video. I'm going to come here. I'm going to create a new conversation, and I'm just going to pop that into post, and there's a video that I've just put into this imaginary team. This happens to be a YouTube video, but it could be a stream video that I just put there in the post, and then now there. Now say if I want to draw people's attention to it, I could go down in the reply, I go, oh, I should have done this earlier. I'm going to go at team and click that, and then I'm just going to send that message, and now it's going to put a red circle beside everybody on the team saying, hey, there's a video here. Don't forget to watch it. Okay, another tip and hack to use for Microsoft Teams. File section. Use your file section to put things that you want people to download, resources and stuff like that to keep organized. But here, this is where I can put in links to websites or links to videos in the posts. All right, moving on, moving fast. You can also, of course, do that in other sections. We could also spend some time talking about forms, but that would really be a whole separate video. Forms is a way you can make multiple choice quizzes that are self-marking on Teams. You can also make surveys with forms. But really fast, we're going to take a look at Microsoft 365 up here. This is another big tip to really take the time to explore Microsoft 365. And maybe you may want to watch a YouTube video on each of these topics. Microsoft makes them, other people make them. You could watch a YouTube on how to get the most out of your calendar. You could look at Delve, Excel. I spent many hours watching YouTube videos on how to use Excel. I still have more to learn about Excel. There's OneNote if you want to get into notebooks. This is a good starting spot to learn about that. Okay, other key ones. Sway is a great one. If you haven't ever used Sway before, take some time to find out the value of Sway. It's often used to make kind of digital pamphlets and memos and newsletters. It's similar to PowerPoint, but different in how it presents. What else is there? Microsoft Word, you probably already know so much about, but why not learn more about Microsoft Word? Everybody loves Microsoft Word. I guess another tip and trick is that if you embed your Microsoft Word document in the assignments section of the Teams, you can use Immersive Reader to read it out loud. So that's a very powerful feature. So there is something to be. Okay, this looks like where the video crashes. So Immersive Reader is a very powerful function. Definitely see how you can use that to read assignments to the students. Very powerful. The other thing I should mention is with the forms test, you can also, I'm using that word too much. No more ums. Okay. You can use what was I going to say now? That's right. The quizzes could be formative. So forms leads to the option of using formative quiz. Okay, what I'm trying to do now here, which is of course crashing my computer, is I'm trying to show the possibility of having 2 teams up and running. There's the digital online version on the left. I'm going to try and load the desktop version of Teams to show that it's possible. The advantage of knowing about this is that if one crashes, you can use the one that's not crashed instead of the other one. There goes the other one. This is the app, the Teams app versus the online Teams. The Teams app is where you're going to find the functionality where you can connect desktop audio to a Teams meeting. That's very powerful. But I also find the online Teams has a very powerful role where it seems to be more stable and less likely to crash. So bear in mind that that becomes a very powerful option. Now, I'm going to show you a couple more things here. One of the challenges and issues with online learning is to be aware of social emotional learning and to find solutions to connect with students, to build a rapport, and to build that sense of trust in the relationship between teacher and student. Remember, social emotional learning, be calm, be kind, be safe, a very important aspect of learning. Now this is what the OBS software looks like. If you're interested in OBS, you could watch a YouTube video on OBS. Just go into YouTube and search up OBS software. Now I'm going to show you here how to create a Teams meeting. Many of you already know how to join or create a Teams meeting already. So this may be basic, but eventually we'll get to the part where to connect audio, your desktop audio to the Teams meeting will also be coming up as well. And then we're also going to get to the student engagement information at the end of this. Okay, so here we're going to go click on the camera that you can see where the mouse is, and it's going Meet Now. Now this is where if I was really doing this, this would crash my computer or something would go wrong because the Teams app would want my camera and microphone, and I'm using OBS and it also wants my camera and microphone. So how is this insanity working? What you're watching, of course, is a YouTube video of Teams, not the actual thing, and you can see that it's stolen my camera in the previous experiment. Now that's the thing about be curious, experiment, try and see what can happen and what doesn't work. Now you can see the mouse is moving vigorously over the secret spot where you need to click to include your video. Freeze this frame, pause it here. What moment are we at? We are at about 17 minutes into this video. So if you want to show someone how to include audio into their meeting, you can say, hey, watch this video. It's at about the 17-minute mark, and then they can learn how to attach their desktop audio to their Teams meeting. This is something that every teacher, every presenter should know how to do. It's so incredibly valuable. And now you can see there's many ways of also including what you're going to share. This is in the share tray, and the share tray is between the microphone and the three dots. So first you go to the share tray between the microphone and the three dots, find the share tray, and then you find that button where you click to add the audio. Now you can see I'm hovering over the screen one and some other places. You can also share, just say for example, your Chrome or your Microsoft Word document. Microsoft Word embedded into Teams in certain spots allows for Immersive Reader, so don't forget the power of that. Very powerful to use Immersive Reader. Now we're coming to the end of this video, and so we're getting to the bonus content about student engagement. Don't forget, of course, social emotional learning, but here we go on to student engagement. I think we're on track to keeping this video under 20 minutes. Okay, student engagement. Number one tip, ask 10 different teachers for their best ideas. Research, and great teachers ask great teachers for advice. So don't be afraid to ask other teachers for what they're doing well. Now, ironically, I just had a technical crash, so what I did is I paused the video and got it up and running again. So, when you get knocked down, get back up again. When you get knocked down, get back up again. All right. Other things, I do, we do, you do. I do, we do, you do. Of course, we're not doing that right now in this short video, but I'm going to get to that as an example. And frequent, small, short, easy. The purpose is to use the science of how the human mind functions to promote learning. This is not about wasting time or busy work. This is about promoting learning, getting the human brain engaged with the learning, with the material, thinking, listening, and going back and forth in a cycle of having time to engage the brain in internal processing and external processing. Okay. Interesting thing to spend some time going into a whole professional development on the science of how the brain works. But this is a short video. Just remember, it's about engaging the human brain in learning. Okay, going on. Remember, student engagement ideas. Okay, so one of the things I find sometimes when I'm at professional development is I'm like, okay, you told me, but now I want you to sort of show me by an example. All right, so I'm going to get to a hypothetical example in this context. Now, this isn't a Teams meeting right now, so we're going to do it a different way. Research, find, share as the example. Example, share something you like. Now, the hook is, it's something you like. So you're sharing something that you've evaluated and you think, hey, this is a great resource. So find a digital tool or a digital pedagogy strategy that you value, that you like, that you found useful, and share it to me on Twitter. I would absolutely love that because I'm a lifelong learner and I want to learn new things and I want to try, I want to experiment, I want to fail so that I can learn and try again and do better. Okay, so share something with me. And then, whoa, wait, share how? Okay, it's at Mr. Vic A, at MRVICKA on Twitter, or you could search Antoine Aaron Vic on Twitter. And you can also hashtag SD36 Learn My Home School District, Surrey, BC, Surrey, British Columbia. Okay, graphic organizer. Graphic organizer is the next point where you can use graphic organizers for very fast note-taking on some key points, some key words that you really want the students to make a note of. That helps students get engaged with what you're talking about, especially if you're doing something where you're doing comparisons. I love graphic organizers. Another option would be notes about connections. I love making connections. The other thing you can also do is try to make connections from, hey, this topic to the big ideas of the curriculum and back and forth. What can you connect between this? I work in an IB/MYP school, so we can also make connections between the learning and things like global context, ATLs, learner profiles. But with the BC curriculum, use the big ideas for making connections. Also, First Nations Principles of Learning, a fabulous place to make connections and asking students to make connections there. Okay, here we go. As we end this video, I just want to ask you to research, find, and share. I would really appreciate hearing your ideas, something you like, something digital, a digital learning tool or digital strategy. I'd really appreciate that if you could send that to me via Twitter to @MrVic A. Antoine-Aaron Vic on Twitter. Also include hashtag SD36Learn. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found something helpful. If you're interested in my channel, come check it out.